Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking into AI server
Oh,
performance.
yeah.
You know,
It's a good one.
it's super interesting stuff. We've all heard about AI being everywhere these days and how important it is.
It really is.
But how do we actually measure the performance of the systems running all those crazy algorithms?
Right.
It's not as simple as, just checking your internet speed.
No, it's definitely not. It's a whole different ballgame with AI. You've got things like parallel processing,
Okay.
which is essentially like having a bunch of computers working together on a problem at the same time. Then you've got these massive amounts of data just like flowing through the system and specialized hardware that's been designed specifically for AI tasks. It's a wild world in there.
Yeah, it sounds pretty complex. So the
Yeah.
tools we used to use to measure computer performance like in the past, those just aren't good enough for this.
Exactly, they just don't cut it.
Right.
Traditional benchmarks, they're not built for the unique demands of AI computing.
So why is it so important that we get this right? Like, what's the big deal about measuring AI performance effectively?
Well, think about it this way. If we can accurately measure performance, then we can optimize it. And when we optimize AI performance well, that unlocks all sorts of amazing possibilities. We're talking faster AI development, lower costs, and even things like how quickly those apps load on your phone.
Okay, so it's about more than just bragging rights. It has real-world implications.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to train AI models in half the time or run them using a fraction of the energy. That's the kind of impact we're talking about here.
That's huge. Okay, so tell me more about this AISBench tool.
Mm.
What exactly is it, and how does it actually help us measure AI performance in this new way?
So AISBench is basically a specialized performance benchmark that was created specifically for AI server systems. And what's really cool about it is that it was developed by a whole bunch of different organizations, like over 20. We're talking big names in the tech industry, the
Hmm.
top universities. It was a really collaborative effort.
Oh, wow. So it's not just one company pushing their own agenda.
Yeah. Nope, not at all. It's a real community effort, which I think is awesome.
That does lend it a lot of credibility for sure. So it's like everyone's agreed that this is the way to go when it comes to measuring AI performance.
Exactly. And the best part is it goes way beyond just giving you a simple speed score. You know, those old benchmarks that just said, okay, this one's faster. AI's bench actually breaks down performance into all these granular metrics that give you this incredibly detailed picture of what's going on.
Okay, so it's not just about saying this server is fast. It's about understanding where that speed comes from and where there might be room for improvement.
You got it. It's like having a performance diagnostic for your AI server. It
Hmm.
tells you how efficiently the system is using its resources, whether there are any power consumption hotspots that could be addressed, all sorts of really useful stuff.
So it's not just about looking at the end result. It's about understanding the whole process.
Right. It's about getting under the hood and seeing what's really going on. And that kind of detailed understanding is crucial if we want to optimize these AI systems and make them even better.
It's like taking your car to the mechanic, and instead of them just saying, yep, it's slow, they actually give you a report on every system in your car so you can see what needs work.
That's a great analogy. It's all about having the right information so you can make informed decisions.
I'm definitely starting to see the appeal of this tool.
Yeah.
So what kind of things does AI's bench actually measure? What are these granular metrics you're talking about?
Well, it looks at a whole range of factors. For example, it measures how long it takes to train an AI model from start to finish, including things like how much time is spent loading data, how long it takes to launch the training process, and even the time it takes to convert and save the final model.
Oh, wow.
It also measures how much energy the system uses during that whole process, which is becoming increasingly important.
Yeah, energy efficiency is a big deal these days, for
Yeah,
sure.
it really is. So AI's bench is helping us create AI systems that are not only powerful, but also sustainable.
So instead of just focusing on speed, it's about finding that sweet spot between performance and responsibility.
Exactly. We need to be mindful of the resources we're using and make sure we're not just creating AI that's fast, but also AI that's good for the planet.
That's a great point.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've talked about what AI's bench measures, but how does it actually work in practice? I mean, did they actually test it out on real systems?
They did. In fact, they tested AI's bench on different servers equipped with, those NVIDIA A100 and V100 GPUs.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, they're pretty much the gold standard for AI processing these days. And the results were really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, as you might expect, the newer A100 GPUs did outperform the V100s. But what was really cool was that the researchers were able to use AI's bench to see exactly why the A100 was faster. They were able to pinpoint the specific areas where it excelled and where the V100 might have been holding it back.
So it's not just about saying this one's faster. It's about understanding the nuances of performance.
Exactly. And that kind of deep understanding is what allows us to make meaningful improvements. We can take those insights and use them to design even better AI systems in the future.
I love that. So it's not just a measurement tool. It's also a tool for innovation.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
This is all so fascinating. I'm already starting to see how this tool could revolutionize the way we develop and deploy AI.
It really could. It's a game changer for sure.
Well, I'm hooked. I can't wait to hear more about the specific findings of this research and what it all means for the future of AI.
I'm happy to dive deeper. There's so much more to explore.
Perfect. Let's get into it.
You know, one of the things that really stood out to me in this paper was how AISBench isn't just about, measuring performance. It's
Yeah.
about actually using those measurements to make AI systems better.
Right, like it's not just about collecting data, it's about actually doing something with it.
Exactly. It's like having this roadmap for optimization.
I like that analogy.
Hmm.
But how does that work in practice? How does AI's bench actually help us improve AI?
Okay, so let's say you're a developer and you're working on an AI model that's going to be used for medical diagnoses. You run your model through AISBench, and it shows you that a big chunk of time is being spent loading and processing all that patient data.
Hmm.
That's a bottleneck right
Hmm.
there. So now you know where to focus your efforts. You can start looking at ways to optimize that data pipeline, maybe by using different compression techniques or even upgrading the hardware.
So you're not just blindly trying to make things faster, you're actually targeting the specific areas that need improvement.
Right. And the result is that your model can process information, faster diagnoses can be made more quickly, and potentially lives could be saved.
Wow, that's powerful stuff.
It really is. And that's just one example. We can apply this same thinking to any field where AI is being used. Like, think about self-driving cars. The faster those systems can process information, the safer they'll be.
Right, because they need to be able to react to things in real time.
Exactly. Or imagine AI-powered tools that can help us design more energy-efficient buildings or even develop new life-saving drugs. The possibilities are endless.
It's pretty amazing to think about all the ways AI is already impacting our lives. And with tools like AI's Bench, it seems like we're just scratching the surface.
I think you're right. We're on the cusp of some truly groundbreaking advancements.
Okay, so we've talked about the benefits of AI's Bench, but
Yeah.
can we go back to the idea of traditional benchmarks not being good enough for AI? Why is that? What makes AI so different?
Sure. So traditional benchmarks were really designed for more, straightforward tasks like measuring how quickly a CPU can process a set of instructions. But AI, it's way more complex than that.
In what way?
Well, you're dealing with these massive neural networks that have millions or even billions of interconnected nodes. It's like a giant web of interconnected processors all working together to learn patterns and make predictions. And that requires a whole different approach to measurement.
So it's not just about raw processing power. It's about how efficiently the system can handle all those complex interactions
Mm.
within the AI model itself.
You got it. And that's one of the key advantages of AISBench. It doesn't just measure the overall time it takes to complete a task, it breaks it down into all these little steps. So you can see where the bottlenecks are occurring within the AI processing pipeline.
So you can see if the system is spending too much time, communicating between different parts of the network, or if it's not utilizing all of its processing power effectively.
Exactly. It's like being able to see inside the AI's brain and understand how it's thinking.
That's a pretty cool way to put it. It must be incredibly valuable for developers to have that level of insight.
It is. It allows them to make much more informed decisions about how to optimize their models.
Something else I really appreciated about this research was the focus on energy efficiency. It feels like a lot of the conversations around AI are so fixated on speed and power, but AI's bench takes a more holistic view.
I agree. I think it's a really important aspect of the tool. We're living in a world where we need to be more mindful of our environmental impact, and that includes the energy we use to power AI.
Right, it's not just about making AI faster, it's about making it sustainable.
Exactly. And AISBench gives us a way to measure and optimize that sustainability. It's like having fuel economy ratings for cars, but for AI systems.
That's a great analogy. It makes it much easier to understand.
The goal is to create AI systems that are both powerful and environmentally responsible.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So it's not just about making AI faster, it's about making it better in a more holistic sense.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This whole idea of energy efficiency also ties into the concept of democratizing AI. If we can make these systems more efficient, then we can also make them more affordable, right?
That's a great point. If we can lower the cost of running these systems, then they'll become more accessible to researchers, developers, and even small businesses who might not have the resources to invest in the most powerful hardware.
So it's not just about big tech companies having access to this technology. It's about making it available to everyone.
Exactly. And that's something I'm really passionate about. I believe that AI has the potential to solve some of the world's most pressing problems, but only if we can make it accessible to everyone.
I love that. So we've talked a lot about the technical details of AI's bench, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the bigger picture. What does the development of this tool mean for the future of AI?
I think it's a sign that the field is maturing. We're moving beyond the early days of just trying to create AI that can perform basic tasks. Now we're starting to think more critically about how to measure and optimize these systems, how to make them more efficient and sustainable, and how to ensure that they're actually benefiting society.
So it's not just about building bigger and faster AIs, it's about building better AIs.
Precisely. It's about creating AI that is aligned with human values and that can help us create a better future for everyone.
I couldn't agree more. Now I'm curious about the development process for AISBench. The paper mentioned that it was a collaborative effort involving a lot of different organizations. Why was that so important?
Well, AI is such a rapidly evolving field that it's crucial to have input from a wide range of stakeholders. By bringing together experts from industry, academia, and government, the developers of AI's Bench were able to ensure that it's truly representative of the needs of the entire AI community.
So it wasn't just one company or research group dictating the standards. It was a much more inclusive approach.
Exactly. And that's really important for building trust and confidence in the tool. When you see that something had been developed with such a broad level of support, you know that it's something you can rely on.
It also speaks to the importance of collaboration in the field of AI. It's not just about competition, it's about working together to advance the field as a whole.
Couldn't agree more. I think the development of AISBench is a great example of that collaborative spirit in action.
We've covered so much ground in this conversation, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface of what AI's Bench has to offer. There's so much more to explore.
Absolutely. This is a tool that has the potential to really change the way we think about and develop AI. I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Me too. And for our listeners who are just as intrigued by this as we are, what are some key takeaways they should keep in mind? What's the core message here?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI performance is about so much more than just speed. It's about efficiency, sustainability, and the ability to handle complex real-world tasks. And AI's Bench gives us this amazing new tool to measure and optimize all of those factors.
It's like we've been given this new lens through which to view AI, one that allows us to see its potential in a whole new light.
I love that analogy. It really captures the essence of what AI's Bench is all about.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation. I feel like I've learned so much about the future of AI and the importance of responsible development.
It's been my pleasure to share my thoughts on this. I'm so glad you found it valuable.
I definitely did. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI server performance. We hope you found it as fascinating as we did.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right, so we're back. And we've spent a good amount of time now, really getting into the nuts and bolts of this AI's Bench tool.
It is a fascinating tool.
It is. But I think it's time we kind of zoom out a little bit. We've talked about faster AI development, lower costs, more efficient systems.
Right.
But what does this all actually mean for like the average person out there?
It's a great question. It's easy to get caught up in all the technical details, but at the end of the day, this is all about creating AI that can actually make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah, so like, give me an example. How could this impact someone's day-to-day life?
Okay, well, let's take healthcare, for example.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where medical diagnoses are not only more accurate, but they're also much faster.
Okay.
I mean, this could lead to earlier detection of diseases, more effective treatments, potentially even saving lives.
Wow. So it's not just about making things a little bit better. It's about like a fundamental shift.
Exactly. We're talking about potentially revolutionary changes in fields like healthcare, education, transportation, you name it.
I mean, that's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is. And, another area where this could have a huge impact is personalized education.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, imagine AI systems that can tailor learning experiences to each student's individual needs.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, you have this AI that can adapt to different learning styles and help every student reach their full potential.
That would be amazing. I mean, education is so important, and it's something that could really benefit from this kind of personalized approach.
I completely agree. And think about things like smarter cities that can optimize traffic flow, reduce energy consumption, enhance public safety.
So it's not just about making our lives easier, it's about making the world a better place.
Exactly. And you know what I find so exciting about all of this is that we're not talking about some far-off futuristic scenario. These are things that could start happening in the very near future.
Yeah, it feels like we're on the cusp of some major breakthroughs.
We are, and AISBench is playing a key role in making all of this possible.
It's funny because when people talk about AI, it's easy to get caught up in all the, sci-fi stuff,
Yeah.
like robots taking over the world and all that.
Right.
But what you're describing is something much more grounded and realistic.
Yeah.
It's about using AI as a tool to solve real-world problems and make a positive impact on society.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's
Wow.
not about replacing humans, it's about empowering them.
And you mentioned earlier this idea of democratizing AI,
Yeah.
making it more accessible and affordable for everyone.
Yes, that's such an important point. If we want to see the full potential of AI realized, we need to make sure that everyone has access to it.
Not just big corporations and governments.
Right. We need to empower researchers, developers, small businesses, even individuals to harness the power of AI. And tools like AISBench are helping us do that by making these systems more efficient and therefore more affordable.
So it's like leveling the playing field in a way.
Exactly. And that's really exciting to me because when more people have access to AI, we'll see even more creativity and innovation. And who knows what amazing things we'll be able to accomplish together.
Well said. So for our listeners who might be tuning in and hearing about all of this for the first time, what's the one key takeaway you would want them to remember from our conversation?
I think the most important thing to understand is that AI is not some distant future technology. It's here now, and it's already having a profound impact on our lives. And tools like AISBench are helping us to shape that impact in a positive way. They're enabling us to develop AI that is not only powerful, but also responsible, efficient, and accessible to everyone.
That's a powerful message
Yeah.
about ensuring that we use this incredible technology for good.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's something we all need to be thinking about. As AI continues to evolve, it's crucial that we have open and honest conversations about its potential benefits and risks.
I completely agree. Well, this has been a truly fascinating conversation. I feel like I've learned so much about the future of AI and the importance of responsible development. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. We hope you found it as enlightening and inspiring as we did.
We'll see you next time.
Keep exploring, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.